President Trump still pointing back at the Biden administration for rising costs, but now taking some steps to lower costs for Americans. So let's bring in NewsNation's Kellie Meyer, who is tracking it all from the White House. Kellie.
Yeah, and that's the question, Nichole. Just how long can this White House keep blaming the prior administration the further and further we get away from President Trump taking office now nearly a year ago? And I do just want to flag, just coming off of what our colleague Mills was reporting on, we do have Tom Homan here on the North Lawn. He may stop at the camera, so just flagging that in case he does talk more about the situation there with the focus from the border czar here at the White House. But President Trump, going back to this issue of affordability, that's the big focus here at the White House today and this week. From what White House officials have been telling us this week, when we were asking if Trump's tour that we confirmed touting affordability going across the country is like Biden's Bidenomics tour, a White House chief economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, he told me yesterday that Trumponomics works and Bidenomics doesn't. That is looking at the latest truth post from President Trump just a few moments ago, claiming that prices were, quote, far higher under Biden. President Trump also said about Republicans, quote, we are the party of affordability. So the president is using the same tool he hoped would be the solution to the country's economic woes to help lower the cost of food for Americans. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer confirming here at the White House this morning, saying the president is preparing broad exemptions to certain tariffs to ease the rising cost of food. He says this will be primarily on food and agriculture products that we just don't make here in the U.S. For example, the issue of increasing beef imports has been a major concern for U.S. ranchers. Just take a look at these prices. Ground beef up to $6.33 from $5.58 last year. Coffee up about $3. Chicken and bread also inching higher. Today, Greer says the president's trade plan is working.
Where we've started to reshape the global trade system in a way that we think is better for America, and so now is the right time to to release some of these items that the president said he was going to release. And I mean, when you look at Southeast Asia and South America, that's where we get a lot of this stuff. You know, the coffee, the cocoa, the bananas, those kinds of things.
And this all comes as the administration is announcing new trade deals with Argentina, El Salvador, and Guatemala. The administration, as well as Ecuador, the administration says these deals could lower the cost of coffee, chocolate, and even bananas. This morning, the White House also announcing the U.S. has essentially reached a trade deal with Switzerland. Duties will be reduced to 15%, with more details on that deal coming soon. Nichole.
All right, so some deals being announced here, Kellie, but I want to talk about the polling and these new polls that show the majority of Americans really disapprove of how the president is handling the economy. We have the numbers now up on the screen. It's a big change from polls on this same issue during the president's first term. So what is the White House saying?
Yeah, and it seems as though the president is dealing with the same issue that his predecessor was dealing with. And President Trump really campaigned on tackling the cost and really focusing on the economy. That's what put him in for a second term. And now he's faced with the same woes that his predecessor was dealing with. And he's going to go on the road, as we confirmed, try to tout how his administration is trying to bring down the costs. That's what we keep hearing from officials here, is that they are working to, as they call it, clean up the mess from the Biden administration. But as you played there in the beginning of this, that folks at home just aren't feeling it. So the question is he going to be able to get across to Americans who, you know, as he says, they are tackling these costs, but they aren't feeling it just yet. And even Hassett, his top trade advisor, economic advisor, rather.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.